Welcome, focused learners, to today's Explainer. I'm your host, and as a sociology researcher myself, I spend a massive amount of time thinking about exactly how we study human behavior, social structures, and, well, the incredibly messy reality of our world. Today, we're undertaking a really critical investigation into a seismic shift happening right under our noses. We're looking at how generative AI is fundamentally reshaping the scientific method itself. We're going to look closely at what actually happens when artificial intelligence meets qualitative and quantitative social inquiry. To kick things off, I want you to picture the 2016 sci-fi movie Arrival. Remember that? In the film, these massive, mysterious alien pods just suddenly drop from the sky, landing in random spots all over the globe. Nobody has any clue why they're there. The scientists eventually establish this really crude communication with the aliens, and they receive a deeply ambiguous message: offer weapon. But in human language, just like in the aliens, a weapon can be a tool, and a tool can totally be a weapon. Well, we have our very own alien pod that's landed squarely in academia, ChatGPT and generative AI. And right now, we are scrambling to decipher if it's a highly constructive tool for understanding society or a destructive weapon that could seriously degrade our field. Okay, let's dive into the data, because we need to understand the absolute urgency of this question. This is not just some theoretical debate for a decade from now. Recent survey data reveals that roughly 1/3 of our peers, 33% of sociology researchers, are literally already using generative AI at least weekly in their workflow. They're using it for planning, writing, and coding. This means AI isn't just an external phenomenon we study anymore. It is rapidly integrated into the very machinery of how we conduct sociological research.
So here is our roadmap for today. 1. Alien pods in academia. 2. The good, supercharging research. 3. The bad, AI homogenization. 4. The beautiful, beauty bias. And 5. Tool or weapon for sociology.
Section 1. The good, supercharging research.
Look, there are undeniably powerful ways generative AI can enhance sociological inquiry. If you've ever worked in qualitative sociology, you absolutely know the old way of text annotation and extraction. You gather an army of grad students, you build a massive code book, you spend weeks, sometimes months, reading transcripts, just praying everyone applies the codes consistently, which, let's be real, inevitably leads to human disagreement, immense time loss, and crazy high financial costs. The AI way completely flips the script. It's shockingly fast, vastly cheaper, and right out of the box, researchers are seeing extraction accuracy rates of 85 to over 90%.
And this next example brilliantly illustrates the sheer operational power of these models. In one ongoing sociological project analyzing racial bias in the California parole system, researchers are looking at parole hearing transcripts dating all the way back to 2007. These documents are incredibly dense, averaging about 100 pages each. To find specific data, like rehabilitation activities, a researcher simply feeds that massive PDF into an AI model, and it extracts the targeted information in literally 1 minute, 60 seconds. Astonishingly, when researchers compared the AI's output to the older manually coded documents, the AI actually caught past human errors.
Which leads us to a fascinating, somewhat sci-fi application called silicon sampling. This is basically the practice of using AI models to simulate human survey responses. Instead of paying thousands of dollars to field a human survey, researchers are writing something like 10 lines of Python code to artificially generate synthetic responses. You can literally prompt the AI to take the perspective of an American or any specific demographic, and it just simulates the data. The efficiency is completely off the charts. But, as sociologists, this should instantly trigger some serious alarm bells.
Section 2. The bad, AI homogenization. We have to stop and ask, can artificial intelligence genuinely simulate diverse human perspectives? When researchers tasked AI to simulate responses to open-ended political survey questions and then compared them to real human responses, a glaring discrepancy emerged. The AI completely squashed human variation. It basically defaults to this sanitized, overwhelmingly high positive sentiment. Real humans, on the other hand, show a significantly wider range of emotion, and they use much more negative sentiment when discussing sensitive political topics. The AI essentially flattens all that messy friction of human society into a polite, positive hum.
So the absolutely crucial point here is understanding why this happens. When analyzing responses related to, say, moral disgust, AI fundamentally struggles to replicate the human distribution. Why? Well, we have to remember what these models actually are. They aren't built as pristine scientific instruments for us sociologists. They are corporate tools built by tech companies for profit and mass enterprise appeal. A model that perfectly captures the unpredictable, messy, and sometimes outright nasty reality of the human spirit? That is a terribly weak corporate sales pitch. It's designed by default to be helpful, safe, and sanitized.
And we see this homogenization incredibly clearly in language and style, too. In a massive study comparing 140,000 real college admissions essays to 25,000 AI-generated ones, the AI's stylistic features were abnormally narrow. It practically writes the exact same way thousands of times over. But here's the part that's deeply alarming for social inquiry. When researchers analyzed who the AI sounded like, it didn't represent a diverse baseline at all. The AI's default voice heavily skewed toward writing most similarly to male applicants, and specifically, applicants from the highest socioeconomic status communities.
As one researcher bluntly put it after running rigorous cosine similarity tests on these texts, the AI models were much more aligned with each other than they ever were with the humans. Think about that. No matter how you prompt it or what demographic parameters you try to magically inject into your 10 lines of Python code, the AI mathematically clusters with its own synthetic corporate outputs. It fundamentally fails the test of simulating genuine human diversity.
Section 3. The beautiful. Beauty bias.
So if AI homogenizes the textual representation of society, how does this corporate sanitization manifest visually? To test this out, researchers designed a really clever visual sociology experiment. They wanted to know if AI image diffusion models could accurately reflect the physical diversity of everyday professionals. The methodology was straightforward. First, prompt models like DALL-E 3 and Dream Studio for diverse professionals, say a black doctor, a doctor from Nigeria, or a cooling equipment operator. Next, they used computer vision tools to precisely extract the generated human faces. And finally, they ran those faces through software that measures conventional attractiveness scores.
The results of this test paint a frankly startling picture. On the platform used to score these faces, an average real human face scores about a 6.0 out of 10. Okay, pretty standard. Older AI models like StyleGAN 2 generated faces that scored around 6.8, so a bit more attractive, but still somewhat grounded in reality. But the modern, state-of-the-art models like DALL-E 3, they averaged an 8.5. They literally turned virtually every generated professional into an absolute supermodel. In one test, an AI-generated image of a hypothetical cooling and freezing equipment operator was rated at 9.14. I mean, come on.
And this leads to a pretty chilling sociological realization regarding these models. Why be you when you can be perfect according to the AI? Modern models use reinforcement learning with human feedback to train the AI. And what do humans and corporate incentives seem to overwhelmingly prefer? An idealized, sanitized, Barbie doll version of reality. Whether it's text or images, the AI essentially erases the beautiful friction and flaws of real human diversity in favor of conventional, mathematically optimized perfection.
Section 4. Tool or weapon for sociology.
So after looking at the good, the bad, and the beautiful today, here is our verdict. On a purely operational level, generative AI is a phenomenal tool. It's a game changer. It offers absolutely unmatched efficiency for text extraction, parsing 100-page documents in a minute, and completely streamlining qualitative coding. However, as an analytical stand-in for society, it is incredibly dangerous. It fundamentally fails to simulate authentic human diversity. Its outputs are severely skewed by corporate sanitization, defaulting to wealthy, male voices in text and conventional, idealized beauty standards in visuals.
I really want to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on today. As a full third of our field rushes to embrace these wild inefficiencies, we have to stop and ask ourselves, can we truly trust a tool to study society if it mathematically and fundamentally cannot comprehend real human diversity? Just like in the movie Arrival, we've got to proceed with extreme caution. We need to deeply interrogate the true nature of the tools creeping into our industries before we ever let them define our understanding of the world. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.